Hi. Thank you very much to Peg and Hal and the whole Why There Are Words team for having me. Actually, I don't need this. Okay. If I need something to hide behind, I might put it back. Okay, this one's called Home Not Home. I cried as the red moon rose. We listened to Mirologi that randomly came on my iPad. We drank Mavrodaphne and we ate chocolate. We spoke of the dead and of our regrets and our hopes. In my dad's village, where I belong and where I don't. This one is called The Los Angeles of My Youth. It's a three-part poem. I'm just going to read you part 2. Leaving Los Angeles, the Los Angeles of my youth, in this rusky, dusky essence, inside the belly of a silver-winged plane, over the necklace of beaches and into the pink and gold sunset I go. This is the whispering of my heart. Always have to leave a place to find it. I found myself in a can of Altoid mints, my voice echoing in a chamber. I found myself. I screamed at the men who tried to take it from me, the bromance, the patriarchy, my father and the devil, and of all the lies and fears and insecurities bundled in a ball, a bird with its wings tied with twine, thrown out of sight somehow, underneath the sink with the dishpans. I let myself be bound then, underwater, for 10 years. But then I emerged in a low, throaty bellow, out of the gloaming, the phosphorescence, the sea foam. I cleared my throat, and for the first time, I began to sing. And I will sing and sing and sing. And when I die, and can no longer let out a strong enough breath, when I can't hold a pen anymore, these words will still be here, and they will drip out every corner of the page, into your ears, under your skin, and you will say, now there's a voice who refused to be silenced. And I will say, well, I won't be able to talk because I'll be dead, so I won't say anything. But the silence will say, whose turn is it now to pick up a pen? And the wind will whisper, yours, girl, yours. Lost and found. I'm a storyteller. And all these years I've been spinning my yarns and weaving my web of subterfuge, and yet I've been afraid to say it. I weave my own cloak of invisibility, and it weaves me. I have climbed down to the bottom. First, I opened up the manhole on Market Street. It clunked to the ground with a thump. The cover clanged as it wobbled back and forth into the inky night. I placed one of my toes on the first rung of the ladder, and then another toe of my red-heeled shoes, until I suddenly found myself deep underneath the ground, under the street, gazing up at all the feet. And I lay there for a decade, crouched underneath in this underground stagnant place, waiting for it to feel safe, until the whole world died, and a new one grew up in its place. Singing from the well I rose, one fleshy haunch at a time, sprouting cherry blossoms all around me, an ice plant up my back. Singing I emerged from hell and back again. A beautiful glimmer, Persephone reascending. Springtime and the world is found. Grass grows up around the bones. The ground, the little warbling birds. Waiting for the end to come. Everything I thought I knew was bullshit. Things come crashing down. Infrastructures collapse, dolphins dancing for us in the waves, for me, for you, for themselves, for us all. What is the point to all this waiting? We are all wretched, and none of us have anything to say or anything worth doing. I have been lost and mired in my own feelings for so long I can't believe it. I've got to break free, to unleash the chain around my wings, to fly in the face of the sun. Icarus to the sea, Icarus to the sky. We are all visitors here, poor souls at different times, lovely and full of pain. I am a failure, but then again, who isn't? We are all on a sinking ship. I grip this fire from my lungs and pull it out, no longer so steady on my legs with the spring of youth. What else can we do, weathered sea captains, but lay face up on this sinking ship and marvel at the stars, the ache of the siren urging us to dream? For Leela, this is where I last saw you in the twilight of your existence. The tippy-top floor of the hospital bed on the 7th floor of the city hospital with the good view they reserve for the dying. I walk by now, trying to get a glimpse of the building as it peeks out from the other side in the glinting sun, traces of the dove that has flown. Unseen hands. The world's made of unseen hands, dainty, Epicurean, preparing your home before you, tiny, fast, frenetic, small enough to place the computer chips into the motherboard, tying the circuitry together, picking the rice and kneading the bread. Fast, frenetic working hands, flying up to your throat like birds. Unseen, hardy and strong, full of sinews, these hands that clutch or make the bread, hands that smell like rosemary and tomatoes and dirt, hands that made your pen and packaged your book. Unseen hands that wring themselves at night, worrying, hands that cook and stir the sauce, looking for practical victories. A child learning to stand, an old woman closing her eyes and re-entering the infinite. The part of you that blooms under the starlight, stretching up like a skinny flame, flinging itself upright, demanding you notice its existence, flickering in possibilities. These hands clutching onto the railing, headwind in the face, leaning over the starboard bow, making indentations in the whitewater sea, the shutting out the part that's eternal, most of all afraid of your inner self. And how fast the boat is moving, no way to jump off, afraid of that essential vibration of violet, the part who could be great, these hands that could dig you out, these hands that could raise you up. Then comes the terror of being known, the proximity to the center of the brilliant zenith within, luring you closer to the clutter, the chaos, the lazy eye of the inner mind that doesn't want to feel the pain, that has been tuned out to the frequency of board meetings or jail or the internet, not being able to breathe. Let them all laugh at you before they know your language. Close your cocoon of a heart and let the sinews fuse into a newness more beautiful and strange than before, stronger and more alive. A candle in a cold room, a person walking in a city, anonymous, blinking, strong hands touching the infinite, holding up the sky. This one's called And Stars and Stars and Stars. Sorry, a lot of these are about death. I apologize. Even in your decay, you are beautiful. And you are glowing, and you are reaching, and you are glowing toward the stars, a little bit more each day, until your body disintegrates and you are only eyes left, staring into the dark. And you are crossing over to the infinite, blanket of stars shining, and you are walking up that crystal stair. Know that you are leaving us, but that you are beautiful, and that you are reaching for the magnificent beginning, pulling the ribbon that holds the universe out of its neat bow, and stepping across to the place which cannot be seen and which does not exist. And we light candles for you, and we anoint you, and we kiss you goodbye. We, the impoverished living, who mourn, who love, and who die. Okay, this is the last poem. The endless unfurling of the present moment. Eternity is in love with the creations of time. Mary Blake. And the thought just occurred to me. This might be the prime of our life. The most important days, full of grit and steel, bundled up against the elements we somehow made it through. I am impervious to all the nigs and barbs, to the jibs and jabs that bore their way into my spirit, from the frenemies and the well-meaning, the fears and pricks, the exclusionist, the asshole in her voice. I let them hang there for a while in the soft underbelly, just long enough to feel them all the way through, and then I let them dissolve. The gods have clay feet, and all the people I used to look up to have entered my shit list. I imagine I am a benevolent snow queen, dressed in a fleece-lined hood that goes all the way to the floor, and I stare at the branches and the crystal lattice ice structure, and I let them be. Here I am on the highest branch. Can you reach me and take a bite? Pluck me now in the wintertime, and I will bloom for you in the spring. Life is waiting for you, my love, and I, after all of our failures and all of our disappointments, to suck the marrow out of its bones. The wheel of fortune has reversed, the vault has been slammed open. We sit behind the medieval iron gate at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, on the ground floor, on the way to the bathroom, and we peer out. We were once slammed inside. On the way in, I was mistaken for the maid. On the way in, I was mistaken for the secretary, and then the waitress, and then the whore. We had almost given up. We were cast, and our failures and the iniquities had become hardened into truth, blocking our legs, cement down the throat, blocking our speech. The recession made us real, illness made us fierce, death made us raw. But today, my dear, it is 46 degrees outside, and you and I are posing for photographs in front of small snow-capped lions on the steps of the New York Library, and we have a little bit of warmth that we will press up close to our hearts and let them thaw. The push, the crush, the thrust of life. We are eating dinner now on Restaurant Row, drinking handcraft microbrews like manna from heaven, and eating lobster rolls and brisket sandwiches. We are contemplating our futures at a table with a glowing candle against the bricks. And I think about this moment as the decisive moment, and this life as the way it is, meant to be. And I try to fight the tears that it is all fleeting, that you will die in some far-flung place, or I will fuck up somehow and hurt you. And I do just for a little while, and we wake up spooning in bed one morning, and the most comfortable time, just after the alarm and before hitting snooze for the second time. And I know for the trillionth time that I love you, and that this moment is the end and the beginning for us. And we swirl inside this eternity forever in the present moment, world without end. As it is, so it shall be, on this page forever until the end of time. The end.